Morning, guys. Let me send out this link real quick, and then we can get started. Send this link out real quick. This on the Facebook. Real quick. I think we're good. Let me just coffee ready. All right, so I think we should be good, guys. Let me send this link out to everybody over here. I think I posted this up to all those rooms. Let me go ahead and post it on our Facebook real quick. Hey, morning, Shawn. Morning, Peter. Morning, Wave. Morning, Greg. Morning, Nicole. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Victor. Morning, Walter. Morning, Spencer. Morning, Andrew. Morning, everybody. Let me send this link out real quick, and then we can finally get started. So it looks like Biden, made an announcement for the new stimulus plan, and it just shot up right here. So we're probably gonna be looking for a buy for US 30. I'll go over that more in detail shortly. Let me just post up this link real quick to all of our outlets, and then I'll analyze a little further for you guys. If you guys are wondering, why it's shooting up like that, like just quickly right here. So we did get this breaking news right here. Dow rises 100 points as investors await Biden stimulus package unveiling, which he's supposed to be doing today. So let me just send this link out again real quick to our email subscribers. Yeah, it's a 14:30, guys. This whole month's flying by. Where did the time go? So I got that there. One last place, the Instagram page. Let me just copy that. And guys, I finally figured out my my FTMO. I had to sign a new contract. So I guess they have new rules and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so I was confused why my funded account wasn't working. Thankfully, it did it because we had that rocky period with US 30 past 2 days. So let me post this up on the Instagram real quick, and then we should be good. There we go with that. All right, I think we're good. So I think I'm posting links up everywhere. It's on the Facebook, it's on the Telegram, it's on everything. So let me take a look at here. Morning, Cassian. Morning, City. Morning, David. I made you admin, David, so you're good. Kasim. Morning, Vishnu. Morning, John. Morning, Karen. Morning, Roland. Morning, Trell. Morning, Vincent. Morning, other Vincent. Morning, Edwin. Morning, Mosima. Morning, Hanan. And morning, Usman. So I think that's about it right there. Yeah, like Peter just mentioned right here, 1.5 trillion for the Biden stimulus package. So we could see a lot of volatility, pushing the market today. That's why we see this huge volatility move right here. I mean, it's a little risky to take this buy here, but we're probably going to take it anyways. So 630 was right there on that candle. If this closes right here, we'll probably be taking this buy. And, you know, it works out perfectly right here because we did have the rejection off this point. Also a rejection off this point right here. So it looks like a pretty clean rejection if we take this off right here. You can see that price basically climbed this way, broke structure, retested, came back up, broke and retested right here again. So it looks like a nice platform for it to like basically shoot up from. But I mean, we'll have to see, guys, because you know the market has been crazy this whole week. You guys have seen from the other US 30 trades. Even on Monday, you know, we held that trade for the entire day. It finally hit full TP, but it took a very, very long time. So same situation right here. We do have, this is news driven, right? This huge spike right here was due because of, you know, Biden's new stimulus plan. So we might be careful. We might take it, we might not. I'll see how it looks like within the next, I mean, I guess a couple hours here. If it's a buy, then we'll probably take it. If it's not a buy, I'm probably gonna hold off on it because I think it's gonna keep pushing up as Biden goes, you know, deeper and deeper into his unveiling of the plan. Because well, he's gonna unveil it on Thursday night, which is tonight, but there's gonna be a ton of pre-market speculation before then. So we'll see. We got about 7 minutes. We got about 7 minutes left on this candle. So, you know, once that closes, we'll see if we take this trade or not. You know, otherwise we will just keep looking around for stuff. Meanwhile, like for basically for other hints and clues, because if we do take that trade, like guys, we're gonna be breaking a new all-time high. All-time high is right here. I'm we're already at that point. It's already at the all-time high, I think. So you guys can see, you know, why this is so risky because it's gonna break a new all-time high. I mean, there's no stopping it, but it's literally rejecting off the all-time high. You see that? I marked it up on the 1 hour. It literally just rejected off the all-time high. So I don't know if we're gonna take this trade because it just might be a little too risky for us to really want to, you know, take that risk. Because if we do take this trade, like we got a long way to go, guys. It's not like we're gonna be breaking through the all-time high, and we're gonna be basically shooting to the moon if we take this buy position right here, which is possible. It's very possible. Don't get me wrong, it's possible, but you know, odds of it pushing this high is gonna be very risky, especially during a time like this where there's a lot of speculators in the market. Because like, here's the thing, people are speculating to buy because they, you know, they hear about this plan here, the new stimulus plan. But then you're going to see like the institutions, you're not going to just like, oh yeah, we're going to let people just buy and then shoot all the way up, right? They're probably going to let it buy. Then they're probably going to spike it down all the way. And then they're probably shoot it right back up. And then you know how that works, guys. It goes like super close to stop loss before it ends up spiking up. Or they might even spike it all the way down. And then like by the end of the session, they're gonna spike it all the way up, right? It happens all the time. So we might be a little careful with this trade because, you know, all points are indicating a buy with regards to the new stimulus plan. But, you know, due to basically market manipulation, they're not just gonna let price go straight up. It doesn't work like that. You guys know that. You know, they're probably going to push it around before they actually push in the proper direction. And the problem with that is we don't want to get caught in the trade while that's happening. You know, maybe we'll make a late entry, like maybe we'll let it come like super far down. And then once it comes down, maybe we'll just put a buy stop here so that when it does swing back up, we can catch it and then go straight to TP instead of us, you know, being worried that it pulls back all the way or that it even spikes like even below stop loss. And then it shoots right back up. Basically what happened on Tuesday, right? You guys saw the trade on Tuesday. It literally wicked right to stop loss and then it went straight to TP. So just keep that in mind, guys, for, you know, this specific trade. And that's going to be the reasoning behind whether I take the trade or not. We have about 4 minutes left on this candle if it closes bullish, but I mean, we'll see what happens with this right here. So let's see what goes on from this point. We have 4 minutes left. I'm going to check out the chat real quick. And then we'll determine, you know, what decision we decide to take from this point. Let me see if there's anything else here before we continue on. Hey, morning, Jade. Morning, Razul. Velocity said, hey, Shawn, about our live session yesterday, have you ever used a tablet for charting or et cetera? I haven't, Velocity. I've seen other people use it before, but I haven't used it yet. I was thinking about getting an iPad, you know, for that specific reason, but I mean, it just makes no sense because I'm already on the computer anyways. If I didn't have access to a computer, then yeah, of course, that'd be a good idea. But for me personally, I mean, it just doesn't really make sense for me to use a tablet because I chart really well on the computer and the screen's a lot bigger on here as well. So I don't really have experience using it, but I know there's other people in the group who have, and they've had pretty decent results from just using that as well. Let me see if there's anything else here before we continue on. City said, should we be trading today? Seems like the market this week is out of control with back-to-back lessons with all the news. Not being negative, looking for your trade cycle, all these conditions. Yeah, exactly, City. So just like I mentioned, just a few seconds ago, I don't know if we should really be trading today because of what happened, especially on Tuesday. If you guys saw what happened on Tuesday, maybe go back to that. Let's see. So Tuesday happened over, yesterday was the 13th. 12th was Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we had a trade here where we took a long position, right? We took a long position right here. It literally went from, it literally just wicked our stop loss. Check this out. So it wicked our stop loss right here. And then what happens? Goes straight to TP. What kind of bullshit is that, right? So that's basically kind of what I see happening here too for today's trade. So the thing is for today's trade, so you can see it literally just wicked because Trump said something. What did he say? Like impeachment was going to harm the US or something. And then it dropped down. And then as soon as that finished, it went straight up all the way. So that's why we might be careful with today's trade because we don't want to get caught in some stuff like this, right? This is exactly what could happen here. If you enter a long position here at this point, like say we enter a long position right here and price ends up coming down, it wicks your stop loss just like it did right here, and then it goes straight up, right? That happens all the time. So that's why we might be careful. Or if anything, we might just hold off and maybe enter like later on, like hours later, to let it, basically swing down before it swings up. But I mean, we'll wait and see how this plays out, guys. But more likely than not, we're just not going to take the trade. If you guys want to take it, I'll tell you guys, what the entry points are, but I'm personally probably not going to take it. Especially because I just got my funded account back from FCMO. So I don't want to like kick off that, that account with like a bad trade. So we might hold off for a bit, but if the trade does appear, I'll give you guys the entry. I'm just not going to take it myself. So it's not going to be an official call, but if you guys do want to take it, obviously feel free. So let me just have this right here. Yeah, so I'll just call like an unofficial call if that's what you guys want. I'm probably not going to take it on my own account. It's just too risky. But of course, I'd like to see how it plays out, right? So we got about a minute left on this right here. Let me see if there's anything else here before we continue. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding everyone, David. So if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like the stream, that'll definitely help. It'll allow me to continue to come on here for free every morning. And just give you guys trade analysis and answer any trading questions you guys have. Because obviously I'm usually on this live session with you guys for like 4 or 5 hours a day, and it just takes a lot of time out of my day where I can just be trading on my own. So if you guys can, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way, we can continue to grow this channel, and I can continue to come on these live sessions for you guys every morning. Otherwise, I'm probably going to keep this private to just the premium members because obviously, they have an advantage since they're a premium member. But if you guys want to just keep having these free sessions, feel free to just like the stream so we can continue to do this daily. So just looking at US 30 right here, we have this pending signal. If it closes right here invalid, using the new strategy, since this signal closed above this one right here, this would allow us to enter a buy stop, even though it's an invalid signal right here, in order for you guys to, possibly take this trade. So if you guys want to take this trade right here, here, I'm going to make an announcement in the rooms real quick. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and I send this link out right here. I'm just going to say it's not official. All right, so let me just put this here. You guys will see how I send this out over here. We've got US 30 buy stop. Okay, so I'll put this here. US 30 buy stop entry. Let's see. Trying to figure out how did I put this earlier. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh man, why did I do that? Sorry guys, I haven't made an unofficial call in a long time. I don't remember what I usually put on it. All right. So let me just screenshot this again. Yeah, I haven't made, I don't remember the last time I made an unofficial call. It's been a long time. So. Right there. So it's just basically like, you know, a disclaimer here telling you guys that I'm not putting it as an official signal, but I mean, you guys can still take it if you want. So we got that right there. I put it in the premium group. Let me see what the pricing difference is for FTMO. Pricing difference is 31069. 31069. It's off by like 117 points. So if we do this here, 31215 minus 117. So the entry point for this would be 310.98. HTML parameters. And for some people, you guys were asking, you know, how do I set up the FTMO parameters? And it's real simple, guys. You guys just subtract the number from the trading view one. So I got that one right there. Let me trying to figure out. Okay, there we go. FTMO parameters. So I'm just gonna copy this over. It gets a little confusing because the numbers are different. TP2, stop loss. I think that's good for there. So that's it right there. Shit, my bad, guys. Let me fix that. I accidentally put a sell. Let me fix that real quick. All right, guys. So I fixed the entries right there. They're all pending orders, so it shouldn't have filled anyways if you guys put it in. But yeah, it looks good from that point. And we'll see how it plays out. Like, I mean, I have it set up here, but I didn't take it on my own account. So if you guys want to take it, you guys are more than welcome, but I'm not going to take it on my own account because I just find it too risky that it's at the all-time high right here. This is literally the all-time high, the zone that I drew on the chart. So, I mean, price would have to break this all-time high and literally shoot up pretty far. It's not like, oh, we're gonna hit TP right here. Literally has to push way up here for it to hit full TP. So that's why I'm like really hesitant on taking this trade. But if you guys want to take it, I mean, you guys can. I'll just set the alert here as well. Filled. I'll just set these here as well. All right, guys, so it's filled already. If you guys are taking this trade, the trade's now active, TP1 750. But you guys can see I didn't take the trade on my own account. I'm just watching it. Because it's just too risky right now. This right here as well. So if you guys decide to take it, good luck. You know, I would have taken it too, but you know, it's just like how City mentioned, it's just too risky right now for us to really want to take a trade like this and a trade that's going so far up. If it was like in the middle of the market, like somewhere around here down the middle, then it'd be fine. But since it's like, first of all, there's a lot of news. Second of all, it has to break this all-time high. So there's a lot of red flags here for this specific trade. That's why I personally won't want to take it. But I know obviously some of you guys want to take it. So it's available to you guys in the premium. If you guys do, it's sent in all the premium groups. So it is available. So let me go ahead and check the chat real quick, see if there's anything new. Morning, active. Razul wants me to take a look at GJ. So if you guys have questions for any pairs, just put them in the chat and I can take a look. Razul wants GBP JPY. See if there's anything else before we get started. Peter said Biden will turn the money printer on. I wonder how long that paper is worthless, like in Venezuela. We'll see how that plays out, Peter. Yeah, I mean, he's going to keep printing like crazy. Let's see. David said, your cash in the bank is already worth 30% less from 2020. 35% of the dollars in existence was printed in 2020. Think about that. Yeah, exactly. I definitely see that too. See this over here. Our GA is in some drawdown right now. I just saw Emma's message over here. Yeah, I mean, there's been some weird movements in the market, obviously, for a lot of these Forex pairs. You know, our Euro odd is in profit. Our GA is currently in some drawdown right now. You can see here from my live account. All the GA pairs, I mean, they're moving weird. They were all coming down last night. Like you can see this bearish move right here. Like literally all of them were coming down. And then they just decided to swing back up. So it swung down over here, and then all of a sudden it swung back up this morning. I'm not sure if there was news this morning, but I mean, we'll see how this plays out. Let me check the news real quick. Calendar. I mean, well, the Fed's going to speak today at 9:30. I think that's about it. It's just been a weird market, guys, overall. So if you guys been following the live sessions all week, everything's just been moving like pretty unusually. Like NZDJPY right here, this was pretty bullish when we took it. So when I took this trade right here, super bullish, right? It doesn't look like any sort of reason for it to come down at this point. I thought it was going to shoot right back up, but it looks like it's now retesting. So it looks like it's basically it broke structure, it's retesting right here, and then it'll probably swing up from that point over there. Kind of similar to what I was expecting for GA as well. You can see right here, it's coming down to retest the structure where it can possibly swing right back up. GA over here is kind of unusual. I thought this was going to come down. So if I go back and rewind to when we took this trade, so we took this trade right here, right? It was established. It was like clearly in a downtrend right here. Like you can see that it was, you know, obviously in a clear downtrend right here. So that's like confirmation number one. It's in a downtrend. Confirmation number two is that price broke structure and closed below. Confirmation number three is that we had a sell signal right here, indicating a momentum swing downwards. Generally, if you have a swing like that, it usually just, like, you know, follows through. Like right here, for example, we had a rejection off this point, sell signal right here. And then when price broke structure down here, it did what it always does. You know, it pushes down to the next structure down here. Same situation over here, you know, rejection, sell signal, breaking structure, and then it comes back down. So that's exactly what I thought was going to happen here as well for GA. Now, obviously we had a decent rejection right here, sell signal, breaking structure, and I was anticipating the same thing to happen again that it always does. You know, it comes back down. But the market's just been moving, you know, very unusually this week, guys. Like you can see here that every time this happens, it usually plays out pretty smoothly. You know, rejection, sell signal, breaking structure, and then it heads on down. Same thing, vice versa, the other direction, you know, rejection, buy signal, breaking structure, and then it heads on up, right? This is when the market's moving normally, moving smoothly. But just this week, it's been all over the place. So I'm still holding on to my GA right here. I think it's going to come back down at some point. I think it's just going to swing back down, reject off this structure, and come back down from there. It's just, you know, it's having some weird movement from London market. Obviously, you can see from everything else, it was obviously coming down, and then it swung back up. You know, same situation with our EA over here. I think it's going to come down. It's the same analysis for EA over here. You know, obviously we have the rejection here. We have the sell signal right here. We have the breaking structure down here. So 3 confirmations right there. It's in a downtrend. I anticipate this to come down, hit our TP right there. So same thing for GA over here. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm just gonna let it be and let it run. You know, obviously we have a lot of new traders in the group that don't have the trade psychology to hang on to a trade and just, you know, just wait. Like literally it's a game of patience, guys. Like if you guys see this in some drawdown, it's actually not close to stop loss, Emma, because you said it's getting close to stop loss. It's actually like 40 pips away. So it's not anywhere near stop loss. So I think you just need to be patient and not freak out just because it's in some drawdown. Same situation with NZJPY over here. You know, it's coming down, testing the structure. I'm sure you probably aren't able to identify this yet. You know, you see the rejection off this point for swing up. But, you know, trading is a game of patience, guys. Like a lot of people don't have the patience to hold on to a trade. That's why most people fail at trading, because they see this drawdown right here and they exit the trade. And then when you least expect it, it goes straight to full TP, right? You have to have thick skin to trade. I mean, if you don't have thick skin to trade, you know, trading might test your patience, and it might test your emotions. But if you know what's happening in the market, you know, there's nothing to really be worried about. Like I can show you here for GA, it's the same pattern every single time. Rejection, sell signal, breaking structure, comes down. Rejection right here, buy signal, breaking structure, all the way up. Same thing back and forth. And the same situation right here as well. It's nothing new. But yeah, so that's about it for that one right there. Let me see if there's anything else to look at before we continue on further. See if there's any other questions here. Vishnu said, pray for a false buy signal. Short team said, is FTMO working? You can take trades on that account. Yeah, it works now, short. I was mentioning earlier that they have a new contract. So I had to sign a new contract before they gave me my account back. That's why I didn't have it for the past couple of days. Short scene said, hi, what are the things FTMO asks before you pay out? Nothing really, short scene. I mean, you have to fill out a contract with your information, and then you give them your either your bank information or your Skrill account, or they transfer the money monthly. So, I mean, it's basic information for anything that you sign up for, you know, your address, your name, you know, any details about yourself, you know, whether you're trading through a business or not. Obviously, I trade through a business, so I have business accounts with FTMO where they pay through my business. So they ask for your information there. You know, if you have a tax ID number, obviously you give them your tax ID number, because this is all legit. It's not like under the table, you know, black market shit. They actually like take your information to, you know, legitimately send you money where it's going to be taxed. Like you can't just like hide this under table and stuff. Because I know a lot of people ask about that. They ask if they can get payment through Bitcoin, but no, like FTMO is a real company. It's not an offshore company where they're going to do some scammy shit, right? They're going to give you some real money. They're going to get some real information from you, and they're going to tax you just like any other trading thing that you do. Let me see if there's anything else here. So Billy said, yeah, sorry, Billy, that was a typo. I fixed it. It's a buy entry for US30 right here. So it was a buy entry. I accidentally put sell, but I did fix it. So it's good to go now. And it is a buy stop. It's officially active right now. We just have to wait for it to break the structure. If it breaks structure right there, then we could probably see it shoot on for a higher move. If that happens right there, I might take a late entry, guys. Like I said, I'm not going to make it an official call, but myself, I might just take a late entry right here and then shoot it up from that point. But I'm going to be very careful with this trade today. Charles said, how do I get the FTMO numbers on TradingView? You can get the FTMO numbers because they don't have the FTMO data on here. Currency.com is like the closest it could get to, because this is futures data. But it's not going to be the same. So you just have to subtract it. So like, for example, here, US 30 is 31,213. You just go to the FTMO one over here. Let me see if I could find it on my chart without giving out my information. Let me see if I got to hide this down here. Yeah, I mean, open FTMO on your phone. I don't have because I'm on a Mac right here, so I don't have MT4 on my computer where I can show you guys. But if you just subtract the FTMO number, like the sell price for the sell price here on currency.com, you'll have the difference, which is about 117 pips. So like right here, you can see I put the FTMO number, which was, or actually I put the trading view number, which is 31,186. I subtracted by the FTMO number. The difference was 117. So you just subtract that by the current price, and that's going to be your FTMO entry. But I already gave, so Trell, if you're in I'm sure you're in the premium, right? I did post the parameters right here in the premium channels if you need them. So let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, Peter said risky trades equals use low in caps, low lot size. So I definitely like either don't take the trade or take it with a small lot size, guys, because it's a risky trade. Like I mentioned, this is the all-time high right here. Price has to break the all-time high, and this just creates an area of manipulation, right? So depending on where sentiment is, let's go ahead and check out where the IG sentiment is for US 30. You know, this is something that we probably should have followed yesterday when we took US 30, because we took the sell and majority of people were sell. So we probably should have just taken the buy so that we could go the opposite of what they were trading, right? Unfortunately, we didn't, and it burned us. So 70% of people are short right now. I think it's going to keep pushing up then. If that's the case, where there's that many people that are short, they're probably going to break price through it and then shoot it all the way up. What I might do is I might just wait for it to pull down a little bit, and then I might put a buy stop here and then just catch it as it goes up, right? I might do that. Or maybe even if it comes down here. So if I see it come down to this point, test the structure or something, and then shoot right back up, or even test the structure down here, or even way down here, if that happens, then I might just, take a speculative trade and just ride this thing up, because then it'll just minimize my risk. Because then in that case, I'll have like stop loss will just be down here, but then I'll still be able to catch the full move up. So that's something that I might do. If I do it, I'll definitely let you guys know. But you can see right here, obviously, it's in a highly manipulated place right now because it's at an all-time high. I think what they're doing is they're trying to lure in some sellers, right? Because everyone who's looking at the market right now, they're like, oh, crap. Like everyone's looking at it as an all-time high. So everyone thinks it's going to drop. So that's why they're dumping it a little bit right here. I think what they're going to do is they're probably going to dump it up just a little bit, like maybe past this structure right here. I think they're going to dump it past this area right here, because this is probably where everyone has their stop loss, right? Everyone has their stop loss below the structure. They're probably gonna spike it right here, and then you're gonna see a huge wick, and then when you least expect it, it's gonna shoot right back up from this point. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this right here, and then I might take this trade a little later. This is like a classic trick right here, right? Because the thing is, there's a low right here. You can see like there's a strong support right here, right? That price has been trying to pass all day yesterday. So they're going to spike price down below this so that people are going to think, oh, price is probably reversing because it's reversing off the all-time high, right? So if it's reversing off the all-time high, what are people going to do? They're going to enter short positions right here. And then they're going to think that it's going to, obviously it's going to drop like super far, and they're probably going to spike it down a little bit lower. And then when you least expect it, it's going to be a huge wick, kind of like this right here. And then it's going to shoot all the way up. It's basically what they did right here, right? So price was in this area right here. I'm sure a lot of people thought this was like, oh, the high. I was like, oh, okay, this is a high. This is probably, where we should probably sell. So as price came down right here, I'm sure a lot of people tried to sell, and then they just, they FOMO'd into this trade. They're like, oh, everyone's selling off. It's at an all-time high. So they sold off. And then once they got to this point right here, you see these huge wicks, right? They're just stopping people out at this point. They're stopping people out. And then when you least expect it, it shoots from this area all the way up here for a move of 2,500 pips, right? And it's the same trick that just keeps getting played over and over again, especially when the sentiment is high for US 30. There's 70% of people short. They just want to lure in more sellers so that they can basically, stack up their profits. Because the thing is, when they stop these people out, so when they swing price down here and everyone has their sells in, when they swing price all the way back up, they're going to stop everyone out and they're going to take all their money basically because they're taking the opposite positions of retail traders. So keep in mind, guys, like trade psychology goes both ways. You have to analyze it from a retail trader's perspective. So for a retail trader's perspective, you would anticipate that because it's at an all-time high, majority of people are thinking it's going to drop from this point, right? It's common sense. It's just like what everyone thinks about. So you'll have that perspective of a retail trader. Majority of retail traders are selling right here because obviously you can see right here that a bunch of people are short, right? The institutions are looking at that from an opposite perspective. They're like, okay, there's a bunch of people short right here. How many people can we stack into this short before we end up spiking it all the way up to stop them all out, right? Because the more people that are short, the more money these institutions will make when they stop all of these people out of the trade. It's kind of similar to what happened yesterday. You know, we entered a short position. Unfortunately, you know, we got stopped out, even though everything was pointing towards a short move, right? Because we entered somewhere over here. Where did we enter at? 637. So we entered right here. And it looked like, you know, it's the same trick that I just mentioned to you guys, like right here. And unfortunately, we fell for it because I didn't think it was going to keep shooting up since it was all the news are pointing downwards. So looking at this right here, but then again, you know, also the impeachment stuff was going on. So like right here, if you're looking at this entry, it looks like a clear move down, right? It looks like price started from the high up here, and then it looked like it was establishing lower highs and lower lows. So at this point, that's why we entered our short position here. But obviously, you know, we should went with our intuition, like knowing that sentiment was high for shorts, and we should probably just avoided this trade. Unfortunately, we took it and it ended up going complete opposite. So that just goes to show that, you know, sentiment is important. In some cases, it's not the most important thing. Like you shouldn't base everything off sentiment, but obviously it has a huge impact in the market. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not in the position, so I'm not really too worried about it. But if it does come down to here, then I'll probably buy at a discount and then I'll catch it as it rides back up as they stop people out. Or I might even just catch a little scalp to the upside as it spikes up. But who knows? We'll see how this plays out. Let me see what else is going on over here before we continue on. Morning, Arash. How's it going, bro? Let's see if there's anything else here before we continue on. Yeah, Castian said, do you trade Bitcoin? So I don't actively trade Bitcoin, just like David mentioned over here. I do buy and hold it, but right now I'm not buying it because of the price has been dropping. So I sold all my Bitcoin, I think last week. I sold it on the live with you guys for like a couple $1,000 bucks. But I'm probably going to rebuy it once it, you know, establishes another low. Because looking at Bitcoin over here, it's you know, I personally don't like Bitcoin because I don't really understand it yet because there's not enough data. But yeah, looking at this right here, this is what I marked up yesterday. You know, price hit the support right here and then it's swinging back up. I probably should have bought when it came down here. Unfortunately, I did it, but I'm not in a rush for it. I'm gonna wait for it to maybe drop even more, and then possibly you know, buy from that point. But yeah, looking at Bitcoin right here, I mean, it's bullish right now. I don't know how long it's gonna be bullish for, but Bitcoin generally doesn't really respect technicals. You know, if they want to push price up, they'll push price up. They want to push price down and sell off their Bitcoin, they can do that too. It's just whoever has the most Bitcoin has control in the market. And we'll just see how this moves from that point. All right, so let me continue on with this. Morning, Deswell. How's it going, bro? Roland, can you look at the earlier UK 100 call? So I'll take a look at that, Roland. So let me see, Roland wants me to take a look at UK 100 call today. Short Scene said FTMO asked for tax ID. I'm not a job person or a business person. I'm a college student. What's that for me? So what I have to provide? I just have a bank account. Short Scene. I mean, you have information. Even if you're a college student, you still have information. You have a social security. You have some sort of tax ID number. You need to be identified, you know, one way or the other, by FTMO, obviously, because they're doing things legit. Like they're not doing things under the table. They're doing things. And Short Scene, you should don't focus on that yet. Focus on getting funded. Once you're funded, then you'll have to worry about that. But if you're not funded yet, then you have to just focus on getting funded first, because I think you're thinking too ahead of the game right now. Like you're asking all these questions about, you know, what FTMO asked for, but if you're not funded yet, it's not really gonna affect you at all, right? So you stay focused on getting funded and actually passing FTMO before asking all these like questions that don't really pertain to you yet, right? I'm not trying to like put you down and tell you not to look forward to it, but you know, you should be more focused on passing FTMO first and actually getting the funded account. And then once you do that, then you can ask these questions. But I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine with wherever you're located. It doesn't matter if you're a job person, a business, or any of that. Being a job person doesn't give you a tax ID number. You know, being a human being gives you a tax ID number if you're in the US, or depending on where you're located. Yeah, depending on where you're located, there's going to be one way to identify you. You know, they're going to identify you through your ID card, your passport ID, like Varun mentioned over here. But yeah, like Peter mentioned over here, don't worry about money you haven't made yet. You know, get to that point. Once you get to that point, there isn't going to be an issue there. I'm sure wherever you're located, FTM will, you know, you'll be able to give some information to get that account created. So don't worry about it too much. I think you're thinking way too ahead right now. Just focus on passing FTMO and getting your funded account before you focus on taxes and stuff like that, because you're just wasting your time thinking about this stuff if like you're taking your attention away from your own account. So I think that's it right here. Let me see if there's anything else here. Meditation said, how do you determine momentum without the indicator? So you just look at you look at market structure. So the momentum indicator is identified using market structure analysis, right? So like, for example here, let me see if I can find an example to show you. I just need to find a clean chart so I could, or I could just show you on Bitcoin right here. So for example here for Bitcoin, let me just hide this right here so that I can show you exactly what I mean by that. So like, for example here, you know, you're looking at market structure right here. So like basically price is going up, it's establishing a high, a low, high, low, and it comes up. And then like once it establishes a high here, so I'll just show you an example of what I'm looking for. If I'm trying to identify momentum, I would basically establish this as a, you know, a high position, a high right there, price high, and then it comes down here for a low, right? So this is kind of what I see right here, where I see price come up, establishes a high, comes down, rejects off this point, consolidates. And then at this point right here, I see a bullish move, right? See a bullish move coming upwards. So right here, we have a rejection. It's a nice wick rejection right there, right? It's like a hammer, basically. So it's a hammer candle right there. And then it's followed by a bullish candle, a bearish candle, and then 3 bullish candles right here as it breaks above, right? So at this point right here, I probably would identify this as a momentum swing upwards from this point. So there's probably going to be a signal right here or a signal right here in one of these two areas. And if I turn on the indicator, it's exactly where I thought it would be, right here. So we have the rejection from this point, bullish candle, it moves sideways a bit, and then it pushes up even stronger. So at this point, this is where you have the final rejection from this point, and then you have the bullish candle right here. So that's how you'd identify momentum, right? You know, it probably looks easy for me explaining it right here because I've been trading for a long time, so I can identify this, and I created this indicator, so I know what the indicator is looking for with regard to the algorithm that it uses. You know, obviously it's my information, it's my, intellectual property. So obviously there's more factors that go into this, but just by me looking at it right here, you can see price comes up, hits a high, comes down for low, consolidates a bit, and then you see these nice wicks right here, right? You see this nice hammer, and then you see it's followed by some bullish candles right here where it gives off this buy signal. That's basically how I identify momentum. You know, not everyone can see that. Obviously, you know, it's a subjective thing. That's why the indicator was created, to take off the subjectivity of identifying momentum, because you're able to identify it just by looking at, obviously the signals, and it takes out all the guesswork. Like for example, here as well, you have the rejection off this point. It's followed by some strong bullish candles, right? Price comes down, rejects off this point, bullish candle, strong bullish candle right here, nice rejection off this zone. And then it follows by a buy signal over here, right? It's the same thing. If you just look at all these right here, it's the same pattern every single time. It's just, obviously there's more, it's a lot more complicated than you think. Like obviously I make it look very, very simple here. Rejection off this point, bullish candle, and it goes sideways, and it's followed by these 3 bullish candles right here, right? Bullish, 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 buy signal. But if you try to use that, you know, I'm not sure if like meditation, you're trying to figure out like how my indicator works. you're not going to figure it out because obviously it's a specific code. And if it was that easy to figure out, everyone would have this, right? I created this from scratch. So, you can see patterns here. Obviously there's patterns here where you see the rejection off this point and you see some bullish candles followed by the buy signal. Kind of same situation right here, except it's not the same thing, right? We have like 3 bullish candles here. We only have 1 here. So it just really depends on how you are able to interpret the market. But if you're trying to, make something similar, you're not going to make it because obviously there's nothing that's anywhere near this, this momentum indicator. And I would know because I actually looked it up before I created my own indicator to see if I could find one, and I couldn't find one. So that's why I created my own. So that's about it for that one. Let me see if there's any other questions over here as well before we get started. Varun said, Shawn, I actually understand his concern because trading international markets is illegal in India. Yeah, but you're not really. So YouTuber, like when you get funded too, you'll see the contract, right? It's not necessarily, they've worded it in a way where it doesn't seem like it's trading. In your contract with FTMO, you're basically agreeing that you're not necessarily trading for them. You're just like basically playing on a demo account. But in reality, that demo account is getting copied to the real accounts, right? So I think for YouTuber, you'll figure out the details of FTMO once you get funded. So you guys should be more focused on being funded than actually being worried about taxes and stuff like that. Because you guys, it's not like if you guys never get funded, well, I'm not going to say you guys never get funded, but in the situation that you guys never get funded, you'll be worrying about something that doesn't really pertain to you guys. So get funded first. And then at that point, or let me look at the terms of services over here first for FTMO. Let me just pull it up. Because honestly, I don't know. I'm not from India, so I don't. You guys should have done that research before doing FTMO. If you guys knew it was illegal in India, you guys should have thought about that before doing something like this. Because let me see if there's anything here. I'm just trying to help you guys out to see if there's like any answer to your guys' question. Because this company is located in the Czech Republic, so I don't know if there's anything that's. They don't really have an FAQ here that I can see. But here, so do this, Varun. If you guys are so like concerned about it, just message FTMO and ask them directly. Because honestly, I personally think you guys are just worrying too much about something that doesn't really pertain to you guys right now. And if this was really a big issue, you guys probably should have thought about that before doing FTMO, right? If it's legal over there. So if you guys are really worried about it, just message FTMO and see what they say. They respond pretty quickly. Just hit live chat, and then they'll respond to you. But I'm not located in India. I'm located in the U.S., so it doesn't really pertain to me. So it's not something that I look out for. But I don't see anything here about. Let's see. Because the way that you get paid isn't through trading. You're not trading, you're not getting paid through MT4. You're getting paid through FTMO. It's more of like getting paid for a service. You're not necessarily trading an account and getting paid and having to pay capital gains on stuff. It's a little different. So my FTMO account. So you can see right here, after you sign the account, there's no details here because right here, obviously it says you'll need to deal with the taxes on your own according to your country's laws and tax regulations. So, that's going to be a personal issue for you guys. If you guys are located in India, I honestly don't know because I don't have that issue on my end. But if you guys want to figure it out, it's a very simple fix, ftmo.com, click live chat, and then they'll answer any questions that you guys have. And that should definitely, help you guys with whatever issue that's on there. Nice. Okay, cool. So Varun already figured it out. So you guys are good. For the most part, you guys are pretty much good for the most part. Varun said, our government doesn't allow directly trading the markets, but we can be their employees. I have messaged them and they're saying that they have clients from India. Okay, perfect. So you guys are good. So there's no worries there. But yeah, with regard to like your more specific question, short scene, I'm not sure where you're located. If you're located in India, like Varun over here, or if you're located in the US. If you're located in the US, you have no problem. But yeah, it just really depends on where you're located and if your country allows it. So that's it for there. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Braden said GU. Sorry, let me open my window. It's hot. All right, let's get this going, guys. So let me see what is going on over here. Dennis said, I would hate to live over there. No offense. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Dennis. Let me see if there's anything else here before we get started. So Nazareth wants me to take a look at UK 100. So Nazareth. And let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so Braden wants me to take a look at Gbp Usd. So Braden, Gbp Usd. All right, so we got 3 pairs here to look at. We have GJ for Razul. We have UK 100 for Roland and Nazareth. And then we have GU for Braden. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to analyze anything specific, put it in the chat and I can take a look. So, all right, let's get started with this over here. First pair was GJ, right? Yeah, GJ for Razul. So we got GJ over here. I'm gonna zoom out from this point. Take everything off the chart. There we go, negative chart right there. Turn on the K2SR. And draw my my zones over here. All right, so there we go over there real quick. Varun said, Dennis, same, bro. I'm gonna change my country, maybe shift to us when I get funded and make some more money. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I know some countries have like laws against trading. I mean, it does suck, but I know a lot of people still trade. Like I know a lot of people from India like to trade the boom index or like the volatility index. And that's probably why they make it illegal for you guys there, because you guys trade very risky assets and they don't want you guys to be blowing your money trading, you know, basically gambling assets. Like volatility index is like super risky. I've seen it before. I thought about trading it, but it's super risky. But that's usually what happens, guys. It's usually some people screw it up for everyone else. Like someone loses a ton of money and gets mad at the government, and the government's like, all right, well, then nobody can trade then if you guys want to complain. So that's usually what happens, guys. Like there's usually something that happens in the country that causes them to limit trading in your country, because someone just probably got burnt at some point. You know, they blew their account, they blew a lot of money, or some company lost everyone's money. And then they make all this regulation to stop people from being able to do that again in the future. It's kind of similar to in the US. Like the US, before we used to have high leverage, but when the market crashed like a couple years back, that's when they created regulation where you can only have, you know, X amount of leverage for specific accounts in the US. So I mean, it's limited everywhere, guys. It's not just India; it's here in the US as well. But okay, looking at GJ right here, we have obviously it's a bullish bias right here because we have a buy signal. So currently right here, you can see that we have rejection at this point. Rejection right there. We have a buy signal right there. We have a break in structure right there. You know, what we're looking for right here is you want price to break this structure above here. That way we can take another buy entry at this point. So scenario number one, Razul, for GJ is that, you know, price breaks above the structure and then we can take another buy entry above there. Scenario number two is that price will either reject off this point and then come back down from here, where it can either continue farther down or it can reject off this point right here. So there's two different scenarios that can play out here for GJ. I mean, obviously it can go up or it can go down, right? There's only like two ways that can go. It'll either come down from this point or come down from here. But the main structure that we're looking for price to break and close past is going to be this upper one right here, which I believe is the weekly. So this is the weekly structure right here, weekly resistance. It's at 142.721. Let's see how far does it have to go until it reaches that point. It's still got a while to go, about 60 pips. So I personally wouldn't take this trade until it closes above here, because the last thing you want to do is enter a, you know, obviously enter a buy position right here. So you enter a buy position and then it ends up spiking down from this point, right? Which can happen. This is a possibility. You can reject from this point, reject from here. Who knows? Like you can reject from any point. That's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to enter a trade and then it ends up rejecting on you before it reaches, your potential. Vice versa. You don't want to enter a sell position here because you think it's going to come down, and then it ends up pushing all the way up from this point, right? So I'd be careful with GJ. I personally wouldn't enter it just yet. For the obvious reasons here, it's stuck within a structure. I'd wait for it to close above it or swing back below here before taking that trade, because you don't want to get caught in a range. Basically, if it the last time it tested was over here, right? So it's the same situation right here. If you didn't wait for it to break above the structure, you would have been screwed, because price ended up rejecting off this point right here, and then it came crashing way down here. So basically, it's just history repeating itself. Right here, you can see that price rejected from this point, and then it dropped like nearly 1,000 pips. That's a lot of pips. So same situation over here. Like I mentioned, price can either break above here and continue up further, or, in the other situation is that it can reject off this point and come down from here. There's two different scenarios that can play out here. It can either reject from this point, come down, or it can break above here and continue up further. There's two different ways, right? So keep that in mind when looking at GJ. But I don't think it's really a good time to enter this trade just yet. If we get a rejection off that point and we get a sell signal like this right here. So say if we get a rejection off this point right here, and then we get a sell signal, and then, we're able to enter at some point down here, then that'd be good. We can enter a short position from there. But, who really knows what's going to happen from this point until it actually happens? You have to wait for that confirmation before, deciding to enter this specific trade right here. So that's it for GJ right there. Let me see what's next. We have UK 100 for Roland and Nazareth, and then we have GU for Braden. Let me see if there's anything else here in the chat before we continue on with these questions. So let's see. Vishnu said, guys, we should all just go to Dubai and trade there. It's tax-free if I'm not wrong. Definitely. I mean, that sounds like a good idea to me. I think, yeah, it's tax-free in England as well. That's what David just mentioned. Yeah, Delraj confirmed. Yeah, it's tax-free in UK. Nice, nice. Vishnu said in Singapore, it's taxed unless we have an existing full-time job. That's so weird. That doesn't really make sense to me, Vishnu. Let's see if there's anything else here. Arash said, oh boy, this group, besides all the brilliant benefit, is really fun. Lonely trading is really hard. Yeah, exactly, Arash. That's how it was for me for like the past, probably 7 years prior to the last 3. I was literally just trading. Only guys, you guys don't have Varun said we need to find a loophole to manipulate the system. I think you know better than me, Shawn, because you have studied and practiced it for years. Yeah, I do know a couple of things here and there with the US. That's pretty much how I'm running my profits through my business. But I mean, it is a trading business, so it does make sense for me to run profits through it. Exactly. So Rizal said, thanks, that makes sense. I hold and fire and monitor. Exactly, Rizal. So just hold on for a bit, wait for that confirmation, and then you can catch either, the huge move up if that happens, or the huge move down if that happens. It's just a game of patience. You don't want to enter a trade too early. You want to make sure that you actually wait for that to actually play out. So looking at US 30 right here, it's just like I mentioned, guys, it's probably going to bounce around before it actually shoots up. I think it's going to come down slightly, maybe to down there, before it ends up shooting up heavy like that. But, like I mentioned, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. I'm not going to enter just yet. I'm going to keep watching it and see what happens. But like I mentioned, it's probably going to be bouncing around before it ends up pushing up like that, because the sentiment, let's see, sentiment is still at 70%. So it hasn't necessarily, okay, 71% now. So more people are entering short positions, right? You can see that increase from 70 to 71. It's just going to be luring in sellers. So they're going to keep luring in sellers right here. They're going to push price below here. And then more people are going to enter sells, right? Because everyone's going to be like, oh, it's breaking structure. We have to enter the sell. Once it drops down here, more people are going to enter sells. There's going to be so many sells in this trade right here. And then when you least expect it, it's going to spike all the way up. That's kind of what I see happening right here. They're just trying to build sentiment. More people are entering short positions. I think once it reaches maybe 75%, 74%, or even 73%, at that point, they might spike it all the way up. And at that point, I'm going to be waiting to enter that buy entry when everyone here gets stopped out. So I'll give that some time, and then I'll probably enter that, eventually, because Yeah, I definitely see it coming up. So we'll see how this plays out. You know, I was like thinking about that because sentiment was low. Yeah, you know what? That actually would have been a good idea. Like I'm thinking of a new strategy here, guys, because you know we trade US 30 so much, and it respects sentiment so much. So like basically, if I see a sell signal, I think I would enter a long position, like a buy stop, at the high of that candle right here. So like right here, I'd have like a buy stop, and then when it swings back up, it swings up, hits my full TP, and then I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So like again, right here, sell signal, probably put a buy stop there. Does it fill? We have a sell signal right here, put a buy stop right there. You're basically catching the reversals back up. So like that's another full TP right there. Looks like this might hit stop loss. Yeah, this would have stopped me out. You know what? Actually, I'd have to make some adjustments to this strategy. I think what I would do is if the sentiment is super high for short, I would probably look for downtrends kind of similar to like this right here. See downtrend like that right there, and then when you get that sell signal, that's where I would put the long positioning tool right there, get that full TP, and I would just wait for it to do it for to happen again. Or I could even use the pivots. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to apply this. I'll figure it out eventually, guys. So sorry, I just mentioned that because it came to mind right now that we could basically trade reversals when the sentiment's super high. I mean, it's not super high right now. It's only like 71%. But I think once it reaches like 73 or something like that, it actually makes it really easy to catch trades on the opposite end. So let's see how this plays out right here, guys. See how this goes. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out right here. I'm really hoping this thing plays out where it comes down and it swings all the way up, because then that'll be pretty cool entry, because we would have got in for, let me see. Yeah, we have an extra like maybe 1,000 pips if we decide to do this right here, where we wait for it to come down right here and then we take that buy. This is what I kind of see happening right here too. I'm going to see like probably a huge wick right here. There's probably going to be a big wick right here, and then it'll probably come down slightly to here, another wick, and then it's going to shoot right back up. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. We'll see how my prediction plays out. But till then, I'm going to go and analyze some more pairs for you guys. So on the list over here, we have UK 100 for Roland and Nazareth. We have a GU for Braden. And I think that's about it. And we have KT with the exit strategy. So KT, I'll try to explain the exit strategy as we go forward with this. Maybe when I'm looking at the other pairs, I can show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's see, we got nice. Yeah, KT said I love GU. Yeah, I usually like trading the GBP pairs as well. GU is like one of my favorites as well. I usually have pretty good luck trading that there. Here's our GA over here. It's looking decent, coming right back down. Our EA over here is looking real nice. I'm in profit about $100, guys. This is my Forex.com, my live account. Obviously, it's not looking so hot because I have the other positions open as well. I got Euro odd in profit. I got GA and some drawdown right now, but it's coming back. And then we have NZD JPY and some drawdown as well right here. So this is my my live account for Forex.com. But it's like my growth account. It's not something that I'm like trading seriously on here. Basically, I just take all the signals. I take 5% risk on here, and then I grow the account. If you guys followed me from last year, I think I started this account like in November. I had like 2,000 or 3,000. And then I built it up to like 6 or 7, I think. And then at the end of the year, I withdrew it and I dropped it back down to like 4,000, I think. And then now I'm building it back up again. So if you guys aren't familiar, I have like a ton of accounts, guys. I have like 6 accounts because I have like 3 FTMO accounts. And then I have like one Hugo's Way account that's for my US30 personal trading. And then I have like 2 other accounts as well. So I have a bunch of accounts that I trade at a time. For each specific asset. Like I have one just for Forex. I have one just for US30. I have like 3 FTMOs for US30. And that's why I have like a bunch of different accounts that I trade on, because I like to trade directly off TradingView. So that's why I have this Forex.com account on here as well. So that's pretty much it right here. Let me see if there's anything else before we we continue on with this right here. So let me see if there's any questions. Vishnu said, "Oh, Shawn, we have a full-time job. Any income from intraday trading is classified as capital gains." Damn, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar for us here too in the US, but I mean, there's ways around it. Like we can trade through a business account like I do, and then obviously you can offset those expenses with, business expenses and stuff like that. But there's always there's always different things that you can do here in the US. Like you mentioned, there's loopholes here in the US, depending on, what your tax situation looks like. Sisuk said that could very well reduce a lot of drawdown. Definitely, Sisuk. That's exactly what I'm looking for too. Skill Straight mentioned, I agree with you, Shawn. I'd be surprised if they decide to go straight up and give a whopping 71% a free lunch. More likely to be part of the 29%. I agree, Skill Straight. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. So that's why, oh, look, it did exactly what I said, guys, right? I said it was going to come down. It was going to have a huge wick on this candle. And look what happened. It's a huge wick. Because they're trying to stop people out, right? Or they're trying to lure people into this trade. So like I mentioned before, sentiment is 71% right here. They want to grow this to maybe like 73, 74, 75%, so that once they have a bunch of sellers in this position, they're just going to trick people. They're going to push it below here so that people think it's going down for a reversal, right? And then at that point, when you least expect it, they're going to stop everybody out because everyone has their stop losses like right here, right? So people are going to have their stop losses. Say if they enter a position right here, their stop losses are going to be right here. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, so stop losses are probably going to be right there. Stop losses are going to be right here. And in reality, there's probably stop losses already here. That's why you have this huge wick, because it's a stop loss hunt run, right? So people have their stop losses there. Some people have their stop losses right here. So this is what I see happening. I see price coming down, people entering sell positions right here. And then as it triggers these stop losses right here, so people get stopped out right here, people get stopped out right here, people get stopped out right here. As that happens, it just pushes price all the way up. It's going to go on a stop loss hunt and just trigger everyone's stop losses. And then it just ends up pushing up all the way up, right? That's what always happens. So you guys have to basically keep in mind, with regard to analyzing these specific pairs, from both perspectives, basically, and just identify where people have their stop losses, because that's generally where the stop loss hunts are going to happen. So there's my little analysis on US 30. We'll see how this plays out. Otherwise we will continue analyzing other pairs. Gene Vaughn said, what's the TP for Euro odd? Wait, Gene, do you want the TP or the stop loss? Because yeah, I see you put TP and then you put stop loss. The TP right here is 1.55659. That's TP, full TP. Stop loss is 1.57659. And you can see the numbers right here on the side too. The red number is going to be the stop loss. The TP is going to be the green number down here. All right. Peter said, when Shawn says he has 6 accounts, it's because he's a market maker. Well, that's why K2 has such a high success rate. Exactly right, Peter. Soon enough, man, we're probably gonna have to start creating some huge accounts to push price around. Yeah, hopefully. I wish that'd be that easy, right? Just to be able to push price around, like with stocks, how they pump and dump. The thing with the Forex market is that it's so huge. It's $1 trillion market, so you literally have to be trading like billions for you to actually make any impact on the market. Here's Euro odd about to hit TP2 right here. Let me get my little thing ready for you guys. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys already know. And then let's see if there's anything else over here. Razul said, Shawn, have you ever thought about creating a K2 indicator for MT4? Just curious, as I'm fairly new to TradingView, but a veteran of MT4. So Razul, I don't ever plan on porting this to MT4. Reason for that is because the platform is just too old. If you compare MT4 to like TradingView, it's kind of like comparing like a Windows 95 computer to like a 2020 Mac, right? Like MT4 is super, super outdated. I don't even understand like why it's still so popular. I mean, I could understand for people that have like low, people that don't have like high tech computers or anything like that. But even with TradingView, you don't need a high tech computer to use TradingView. But you can see the huge difference between TradingView and MT4. I personally don't like MT4 because it's so outdated, and I don't think we can port this algorithm to MT4 because the problem with MT4 is that it doesn't support the language that I've coded this indicator for. So if I was to translate this code to MT4, it wouldn't be exactly the same. It would be pretty different. So it wouldn't be exactly on point as the other ones. So that's, you know, the main reason why I probably will never be porting it to MT4. Like for one, I use a Mac, so I can't even use MT4. So there'd be no way for me to test it, you know, unless I buy a computer. And, you know, just it's just too much of a hassle for me to go and port it over. So unfortunately, I'm not going to, Rezul, but hopefully you pick up on TradingView, because I do love TradingView. You can do everything on here, and it does help a lot with regard to creating strategies. So here we are, TP2 for Euro Odd, guys. For you guys that are new here, there we go, your horn from David. I don't know if David's still here. Are you still here, David? See if there's anything else that I need to cover real quick before we continue on. Yeah, so Peter said Resol MT4 is like Windows down 95, TradingView is like Windows 10. Yeah, I agree with Peter. It's just that it's too outdated for me, where I personally just don't like to I just don't like to use it. I only use it because I have to for FTMO, but I'm sure FTMO is working on you know, porting it over to some other platform to make it easier. All right, so here we go with this over here. We got what was it, 50 pips? 50 pips for Euro NZD. There we go, guys. Euro NZD, or no, sorry, Euro Odd. Put that over, Euro Odd right there. There goes another TP, and you guys can see my account over here is looking pretty nice in profit. Let me see if everything else is looking good. All right, perfect. So everything else is swinging back. You can see my GA is swinging back into the positive as well. It was like at negative 100 something. Now it's back to negative 60. It's going up as we speak. And here you see my profit starting to swing back up. So this is what I mean about you guys being patient with your trades. You know, even if it's in some drawdown, just be patient, because it's eventually going to swing back at some point. So like our GA over here, it's coming back into profit. Our NZD JPY right here, it's coming back into profit as well. So just be patient with your trades, guys. You know, obviously I don't call bad trades. I only call trades that I know are going to hit. So that just, you know, keep that in mind if you guys are looking at that. So let me see if there's anything else here real quick. KT wants me to take a look at USD JPY. And then we got, what else we got over here? Raymond's asking, hi, Shawn, can you look at gold, please? Sentiment is 84% long. So yeah, Raymond, we'll take a look at gold for you. David's here, getting online trading done. Bruin said, oh yeah, we need that buzzer, man. Definitely 100%. Gene Vaughn said, Shawn, what did you call that trade for Euro Odd? I called it last night. So I don't know if you missed it, Gene Vaughn, but it was right here. So you look at trade right here. I called Euro Odd right here. It was at 10 p.m. my time. We called Euro Odd right there. I gave the update for TP1 right here, 25 pips. I gave the other update over here for TP2, 50 pips. So it was called last night. I don't know if you missed it, possibly, but yeah, I mean, we're currently in the trade right now. So I'll exit strategy right now, KT, before I move forward. When price reaches TB right there, you're supposed to move your stop loss to TP2. So at this point right here, you would move your stop loss to TP2. That way you guarantee 50 pips. So if price ends up swinging back, you get kicked out in profit. You lock in 50 pips guaranteed. If price ends up just continuing down, you hit full TP. So you're in a win-win situation if you use the exit strategy right here, because you've already guaranteed 50 pips. Plus, you have the option of reaching full TP for 100 pips. That's basically how the exit strategy works. You know, first, if it reaches TP1, you move your stop loss to TP1. When price reaches TP2, you move your stop loss to TP2. And then at that point, you've guaranteed 50 pips, and then you also shoot for the full profit right here as well, if you wanted to do that. So it's just up to you if you want to use the exit strategy, but it's not like necessarily required. So I think that's it for this right here. Let me see if there's anything else to look at before we continue on. Let me see, that's it for that exit strategy. So hopefully you got that, KT. I'm not sure if you caught that or if you're even still here, but it's pretty simple, the exit strategy. See if there's anything else here. Varun said, on what time frame have you drawn the zones for NJ? I do all my zones on the 4-hour, Varun. And then if there's no zone on the 4-hour, then I usually end up pushing it to the higher time frame, like the 8-hour, the daily, the weekly, or the monthly if necessary. Peter said 92 people watching, only 46 likes. Hit that like button, people. Yeah, definitely. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can do us a favor and just like the stream and follow the YouTube channel. That way we can continue to grow this channel, and I can continue to come on here to give you guys free advice and free daily trading, every morning, pretty much Monday through Friday for the most part. Obviously I have better things to do with my time, but I don't mind coming on here, answering guys' questions, analyzing the charts for you guys. But all that I ask is that you guys help us grow the channel, because, obviously we're here trying to reach people that need help trading. And the more people here, the better. It's like a party for us. You guys saw the horns whenever we hit TP. And then from that point, let me see if there's anything here. All right, sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of messages here on Telegram. So if you guys message me on Telegram and I haven't gotten back to you guys yet, I will be getting back to you guys eventually. I'm tied up right now with the live session, so obviously I can't go and answer all your questions here. But if you do have questions that you can ask in the public, just ask them here in the chat, because I'm not going to be pulling up the Telegram anytime soon. Probably not within the next couple hours. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, I'm going to go and scan through the pairs for you guys. All right, so Varun wants me to take a look at NZDJPY, just redraw the zones. All right, perfect. So KT's still here. Nice, nice. So KT, I'm still here, not missing this for anything, 100%. Yeah, hopefully you locked in some profit on that, KT, because it's looking pretty nice. US 30 right here doing exactly what I mentioned. I said it was going to come back up after it reject off this point, but we'll see how it plays out, because it might even drop even more. I think it's going to keep dropping a little more down to here possibly, just to lure in more sellers before it ends up shooting up. Because it's just like you can see right here, I'm sure this stopped out a lot of people already, because it spiked up like 400, 500 pips from this point. So it stopped people out right here that were going for a sell. And I think it's going to keep dropping more to lure some more people into this trade. Still at 71%. I'd probably make some entries. Oh, there you go. So you see how it went from 71 to 70%, guys? That's because those people got stopped out of the trade. The 1% got kicked out of their stop losses got triggered when this spiked up like that. And then now the numbers are starting to shift the other way. So keep that in mind. Let me see if there's anything else here before I continue. All right, so meditation, relaxation. Nice name, bro. Meditation wants me to take a look at Euro USD. All right, cool. So I'm going to analyze all these pairs here. I'm going to go down the list real quick, and then we'll get started. So Roland and Nazareth want me to take a look at UK 100, the call today. Braden wants me to take a look at GBP USD. KT wants me to look at USD JPY. Raymond wants me to take a look at gold. Varun wants me to redraw the zones for NZD JPY. And Meditation wants me to take a look at Euro USD. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go through these pairs right now and analyze them further. So let me just delete everything off the chart right here. I'm going to see what did they call for UK 100 today. So they had a sell stop right here at 4:32 a.m. So 4:32 a.m. was, all right, cool. So 42 a.m. was right here. I think you guys would have hit TP already, right? So let's see, profit target right there. It's too far. I don't think you guys would have hit that. So see this. Oh, so you guys are technically still in the trade. So this is UK 100 from last night. Looks like you guys might have hit TP1 and got kicked out of the trade already, because I see here that some of you guys, or someone mentioned that TP was hit. I don't know if it was hit. Let me see. I got to talk to the London guys, because I'm not sure if TP was hit here or not. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. Okay, so I think this might have been the entry right here. So like just a reminder, guys, I don't call the UK 100 trade. So if you guys are asking me about that specific call, I didn't call it, so I wouldn't necessarily know, what the details are for this specific trade. You'd have to ask the London guys, like either Spencer, Mark, Jazz, Alkin, any of those guys. But yeah, it looks like you guys set the entry right here. It looks like it's technically still active. I'm not sure if you guys hit break even, because I know some, like their strategy is totally different from mine, guys. So I don't know exactly what they were looking for or what updates they gave for the specific trade. But I think I think they might have told you guys to move at a break even. I'm trying to look through the chat here and see. Let me just message them real quick. Any updates for UK 100? All right, so I messaged them. Let me see if there's anything else here. All right, cool. So I messaged the London guys right now. No, obviously they took this trade here because they were using the strategy, yeah. So this right here, if they're using my strategy, I think you guys remember, the strategy that I was mentioning, using the new addition. If they took this trade right here, you guys would have hit full TP. It looks like. Yeah, you guys would have hit full TP, or not full TP, but like close to it. Yeah, unfortunately, this trade wasn't taken right here, so it wasn't necessarily. Yeah, I would have hit TP1 right there for 200 pips, and then still active right now. So, yeah, this is why the strategies are a little different. Because see, for me, I would have taken this buy right here. I would have been in profit, like little no drawdown. But the UK group trades it a little differently, so that's why they took this other entry over here. So it's kind of hard for me to analyze this, guys, because I don't want to analyze against their trade. Obviously they know what they're doing as well. But for me personally, if I was to take this trade, because market opened here at midnight, even though this was a false signal, it closed above this previous signal. So I would have taken this buy right here, and I probably would have hit TP at that point because I traded 1-to-1. So I would have hit full TP right there for my trade if I was to call this trade. Unfortunately, I didn't call it because I don't trade this, but they called a sell here. I'm assuming that they skipped this trade because it was an invalid signal. It looks like it's an invalid buy because it has it's a red candle within a bullish buy signal. So right here, this they probably skipped this and then took the next one over here. But this one was a little lower. I think the entry should have been right here, but it might have just been called a little late. And that happens, guys. Sometimes it happens where, they're just busy and they can't call the trade right away. So I don't blame them for doing that. But yeah, our analysis is going to, obviously it's going to be opposite of each other, right? Because I don't trade this way. Like the way I traded, I would have taken this entry right here. And if I zoom out from here, let me just draw the zones to see if there's any zones that we would have, possibly looked out for on the 1 hour. I mean, because it looks like there's quite a bit of zones here. See that? Nice rejection from this point. So it looks like a UK 100 is kind of just ranging within this area right now. You see this over here. Go back on the 10-minute. Yeah, price is just ranging within the zone right here, right? If I zoom out from this point, it's just ranging within this area. Not to say that it can't come back down. It probably will because it's rejecting off this point right here. So you guys do have a short position like somewhere around here. Looks like, your stop loss is pretty far out. So not super far out, but it's above that structure. So it can easily come down from here and shoot down from this point right here because we do have a rejection right here. So it's a pretty clean rejection. It's like a double top. So you have a rejection from this point. You also have a rejection from this point as well right here. So there's double rejections, double top right there. I think if we get a sell signal, we could probably, catch on its way down. So I think this could be good here. So basically right here, double top. It looks like it's, establishing a downtrend at this point too as well, since it's establishing lower lows and lower highs. So, there's a lot of ways to analyze this, guys. For me specifically, if I was applying, the same strategy that I'm using for US 30, I would have taken this one right here. But this looks fine too, because it looks like it established a double high right here, or a double top for 2 highs being tested. And then it looks like it could come down if we do have a sell signal at that point. So It's just my strategy would have been right here if you guys decided to take this trade. But I don't think they're using the new method that I've been using, where I wait for price to either close below or above the previous signal. So this is pretty much what I see happening here, and I think that's about it. So let me see if there's anything else. Right here, Victor said, Shawn, when you place a short or long position, do you place the entry at the wick or the close of the candle? So I put it at the close. Generally, if I'm waiting for an entry, so like say for right here, right? If I'm looking for this entry right here, or for example here, if I was looking for this sell entry right here, I wait for this candle to close. So like what I do is I wait, and then I wait for this candle to close. As soon as it closes, I enter a market sell right there. So once it closes, so I get in at that exact price right there. And that's pretty much how I enter the trade. So this is what I see happening for UK 100 right here. I mean, obviously it's at a nice resistance right here, so it could probably come right back down. Hopefully that plays out. So it plays out, with regard to the London Group's analysis. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, guys, because we don't know what's going to happen in the market. Let me see what the sentiment looks like, because that might give us a better picture as to how they're going to be pushing price. TSE looks like a majority are long. So yeah, this is actually, I mean, it's not a lot of people. I don't like 60%. I like it when it's higher, when it's like 70%, because that's a bigger majority. If it's 60% right here, they can keep pushing price, either way. They're not really going to benefit from it just yet until they have more sellers. The problem with this is that if there's more sellers that enter the market, more buyers that enter the market, it's going to push price to the stop loss, right? Because there's not enough space here. There's just like X amount of space here before it ends up hitting stop loss. Like if it was down here and was pushing up, kind of similar to US 30 right here, it has a majority sell, then I would be waiting. It'd be fine because you have cushion there. But for here, there's not much cushion. So I will just have to wait and see how this plays out. It's like pretty middle ground at 60%. So it can literally go either way. It can go up or it can go down. There's no real one-sided sentiment at this specific time. But that's it for UK 100. I don't really see too much going on with this right now, up until we get like the sell signal. If we get a sell signal, then that would give us a better confirmation as to what direction it'd be moving. But until then, we just gotta wait and see how it plays out. Let me see. Arash is asking, Shawn, do you believe in automation trading systems? I mean, it's possible. It's just not. There's a lot of issues that come with automation. Like I've automated my systems as well. There's always issues that arise. The system goes rogue, system goes offline. There's timeouts. There's a lot of different things that can affect the market. I mean, that can affect your system, that can lead to a blown account. So I personally just trade manually. Automation just makes you lazy for the most part. And usually if there's an automated system, there's usually someone that's controlling the system. It's not just like fully automated, because it needs to be monitored like 24 hours a day for any issues, especially if you're trading a big account. You can lose that account within seconds if there's some sort of issue with your automated system. So I personally don't recommend it, but some people do use it, and I created one for myself. It just isn't very reliable. So let's move on to GU over here. We're going to look at GU for Braden. So let me zoom out from this point, take everything off right here, delete everything off the chart, check my profits. Damn it. Okay, so everything's coming back right now. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just gonna let the trades run, guys. I'm not worried about my trades at all, because I call these trades for a reason. It's not like I call them just to call them because I think they're gonna actually hit. So let's draw our zones down here. We got a zone right here. Got a zone right here. Zone right there, and then a last zone up here. So this looks good right there. Looking at this point over here, we have a nice range that's going on through here. So it looks like price is just ranging within these zones. I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator. So right here, we have a bullish momentum for GU. For GU right here, we want price to push up above this structure and close. Once it pushes up above that structure and closes, then we can possibly take a long position over here, right? So this is probably where it could happen. Just looking at this right here, we have a nice rejection off this point down here. We have this pending buy signal. If it closes, that's perfect. Because if that closes, then we'll probably push price above the structure. If it closes above here, then we can take a long position from that point. And guys, keep in mind that we want it to close, right? We don't want it to cross above it. We want it to close above it. Because you guys can see here, the last time it reached that point. So it reached this point right here, and then it rejected off this point, right? And it came right back down. So looking at GU right here, there's a couple scenarios that can play out. If this buy signal closes and then it pushes above the structure, then we can anticipate price to continue up even further, right? So that's scenario number one. Scenario number one is price shoots up and continues up even further. Scenario number two is price rejects off this point and comes right back down. So there's two different scenarios that can play out right here. But like I mentioned, we would have to wait for either that buy signal to close and cross and close above here. That'd be scenario number one. Or if price rejects down here, we want this to close below this structure right here. If it closes below the structure, then we can take a short position from there, and then we can write it down. So two different scenarios that can play out here. You can see, for example, when price rejected off this point, and then we had a sell signal. We don't need a sell signal because we already have one right here, right? We just need a rejection from this point, price to close below here. Once that happens, you can pretty much just ride this down to the next structure and then the next structure down here as well. So just keep that in mind, guys. There is two distinct scenarios that can play out here that's pretty clear. Whether if it closes above here, we can take a buy. If it closes below here, we can take a sell. But until we get that confirmation, we're not going to take this trade because we don't want to get caught in any fake outs with regard to whether price ends up spiking up or price ends up spiking down. So just keep that in mind, guys. Other than that, we're going to move on to the next pair over here. So we have USD JPY by KT. Let me go ahead and pull that up right now. So that's it for GU right there. Move on to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out from this point, delete everything off the chart. And then we got a clean chart right there, nothing on the chart. Zoom out from this point, turn on the K2SR indicator, and then redraw these zones for you guys. Draw that zone down there. This one right here. Got this one right there. This one right here. And then lastly, we got this one way up here. So we got this all set up right here. Turn that off. Zoom out from this point. Turn on the momentum indicator. So obviously you can see price is currently, it just rejected off this point. I'm trying to see if I see any patterns right here just by staring at it. Not necessarily. It looks like this is probably going to come down right here. I think we probably have a sell signal. This might be a pending sell signal. If it closes below here, then I'll probably take a short position from that point, write that thing down from there. So let me turn on the momentum indicator. It's exactly what I just mentioned. So like right here, if this closes as a sell signal, and then we have this close below here. So if we get a sell signal here and then price closes below the structure, then we could possibly take a sell from that point, right? We can probably see that coming right there. That's scenario number one. Scenario number one is we get a sell signal, kind of similar to right here, and then it comes down further and then drops down from there. Scenario number two is price rejects off this point and then shoots on up from here. So there is a couple different things that can play out here. I mean, obviously this looks like a strong bearish candle. It looks like it's also trending down from this point. The thing with UJ is that this is going to be manipulated today because obviously when Biden speaks, with regard to the new stimulus, that's going to affect the market one way or the other, right? He doesn't speak until later this afternoon. So I'd probably stay away from these USD pairs because this could have like a slight push like downwards. And I think like once Biden speaks, it could have a huge impact. It'll either spike it all the way up because it's going to bring morale to the US basically, or it's going to come down because he's going to indicate, how much money is being printed and what his goals are. So the thing is, it could go both ways. It's like a double-edged sword. It can either help this position or it can, shoot it in the other direction as well. It just depends on how the market reacts to the news that he gives
when he goes in detail with regard to his new stimulus plan. So like looking at this right here, everyone is just awaiting Biden's stimulus package. There's like nobody really knows what he's going to say exactly. I mean, obviously, there's some things there that we know. Like we have the 600 direct payments. He's thinking about increasing that to maybe like 2,000. That's a lot of money, guys. So if he does that, we're going to print a lot of money. And then by doing so, it's going to weaken the US dollar. And this is probably going to shoot down even further. So who knows, anything could really happen at that point because it just depends on how the news is interpreted. So just keep that in mind, with regard to UJ. You're probably going to see some weird movements for all of the USD pairs, UJ, possibly all the JPY pairs because they're all safe haven currencies. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't know exactly what could happen, with regard to that right there. I'm hoping it goes up because I want this NJ to push back in profit over here. I think once it reaches TP1, I'll probably move my stop loss in profit because I didn't realize Biden was going to be speaking today. But you could probably see a lot of these USD pairs are probably going to shoot up because they're going to be talking about stimulus. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe AU will head up, EU will probably swing back up, GU will probably swing back up. And you'll probably swing back up. See, they look all bullish, right? Just looking at all the USD pairs. So it's going to be affected, one way or the other. Obviously, UJ over here, it's going to come down possibly if those end up pushing that direction because they correlate. So, yeah, there's not much to really think about for UJ right here. I mean, the only thing to really look at, KT, is probably waiting for price to break below the structure. Well, waiting for a sell signal. We need a sell signal first. And then on top of that, we need it to close below structure. Once that happens, then you could possibly think about entering a sell. But until then, I probably sit tight until you have extra confirmation, take that trade, which this candle will close in about 1 hour and 47 minutes. So you got a lot of time to think about it. And it might not even close below here. So if it doesn't close below here between that time, you'll probably just have to wait, a bit longer before you end up, taking this trade. Let's go back to US 30 real quick. All right, so it looks like it's doing what I just mentioned, guys, right? It's going to have a small, like a slow little spiral down. It's going to keep coming down, I think, slightly. It's probably going to come down here, have another rejection, come down here, have a huge rejection, and then come down here and close, and then basically lure all these sellers in. And then when you least expect it, boom, straight up. So just by looking at this, guys, I kind of started to think of a new strategy. I'm probably going to backtest maybe this week, and I'll see how it plays out. It's basically using sentiment. Like basically if sentiment's super high on one side, I'll probably trade the opposite. It's a super risky strategy, but it's something that I think could be good for scalping, not really for long-term trading, but for scalping, just to catch some small profits here and there. If the sentiment is super high, kind of similar to like with gold. I'll go over gold shortly because someone asked for it. Yeah, that's the next one for Raymond. And then at that point, I'll continue on with this further. But yeah, no problem, KT. Hopefully that helps. I just wait for that to close that sell, close below there, and ride this thing down for some nice profits right here. I think you pushed for about maybe 60, 50 pips. All right, cool. So I think that's it right there. Maroon said US 30 just gave the first valid sell, fulfilling new strategy requirements. Yeah, everyone, I see that too, right? Oh yeah, so that sell right there closed below. But like I mentioned, there's a lot of manipulation going on. So you can see right there that sell filled, but it's pushing price up because like I mentioned earlier, there's how many people are short right now? I think it's still 70%, right? So you guys can understand, why price is going up, right? The price is going up because they're trying to stop these people out right here. There's 70% of people are short. And what they do is they try to push price a little bit down and then they spike it up, right? So like right here, obviously everyone's trying to enter sells because they're like, oh, it's at an all-time high. It's got to drop, right? That's what everyone thinks. And you obviously want to think the opposite. You want to wait for them to lure these people in and then shoot it right back up. So at this point, I might even put a buy stop over here and then catch it as it swings up because it looks like it might be swinging up at this point. But who knows? It's got a long way to go before then. But we'll continue to keep an eye on it just in case. So next question we got here is for, let me see what else we got here. Oh yeah, so we have gold for Raymond. So let me pull up gold real quick, Raymond, and see what we got over here. So let me see what we got over here. Gold. Nice. Yeah. So Tony said I'm in GU currently, buy currently, got in at nice. So Tony's in a buy right now for GU. It looks good, I think. Yeah, so this right here looks good, definitely. I think if it closes above the structure, you're pretty much good to go, Tony. I think it'll shoot up further and you can make some more profit. But I would be careful. I think at this point, probably move your stop loss and profit like below the structure so that if it ends up reversing on you right here, kind of what happened right here, you can, get stopped out in profit. And if you want to re-enter, you just wait for it to come right back up from this point, close above there, have that confirmation, insert another long position right there for GU. So that's basically what I see happening there. Now let me look at gold for Raymond real quick. So Raymond wants me to take a look at gold. We got gold right here. I'm going to zoom out from this point, delete everything off this chart, start from scratch. There we go. So we got a naked chart right here, nothing on the chart. I'm going to turn on the K2SRs, and then I'm going to draw my zones on the chart for you guys. So if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the K2 indicators, it's available to you. Just go on the K2 website, k2trades.com, and then you can sign up for access here. Just click K2 strategy course, and then you can get access to the K2 indicators from that point. All right, so I'm drawing these zones on the chart, and then you guys can see, how powerful these zones are because they're pretty on point with where these points of rejection are, without having to guess, because if you guys have sit in on the other mentoring sessions, I've always discussed that one of the main problems with people drawing zones is that they draw them in the wrong places because it's very subjective. Nobody really knows where to put them. And that's why I use this algorithm to identify the actual zones that are important. So you can see right here, they're very important. They've identified pretty much every strong point of rejection, or like where price currently is. Price is currently within here. Looks like it's ranging within the zone right here. And then looking at this point right here, we turn on the momentum indicator, we have a sell momentum. So currently right here, if you guys followed the analysis from yesterday, I mentioned that price needed to close above this structure before taking a buy, right? I said if price doesn't close above the structure, don't take it. And if you guys listened, you guys would have been pretty decently fine because price never broke structure, and you wouldn't have gotten caught in any of this drawdown right here. So for here, it's just in a range. So you basically want it to close like either, above here or below here before you take the entry, because it's just not, you won't be available to really catch any like moves in any direction because it's just ranging. Unless you guys are scalping gold right here. I think Raymond mentioned that the sentiment. So let me pull up the sentiment for gold real quick. Oh, wrong one. Let me go back over here. All right, so the sentiment for gold over here is 84% long. So I probably wouldn't go long. I'd probably go short. So, okay, well, this is going to be an iffy. It's going to be iffy, guys, because Biden is speaking later this afternoon, and he's going to be speaking about the stimulus, right? So when he speaks about the stimulus and the new COVID plan moving forward, it's going to affect gold tremendously, right? So depending on how you want to gamble, I would probably go against the actually no. So this is 84% of people long. This is like a double-edged sword as well, because the thing is when he talks about stimulus and COVID, people are probably gonna, everyone's thinking that they need to put money in gold because it moves opposite of the US dollar. If the US is printing like trillions of dollars for the stimulus, then obviously it's gonna have to shoot up, right? The main problem with that is that there's so many people that are long already. There's 84% of people are long. So I think what might happen is they might spike price down slightly. I think this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna whipsaw price, spike it down, and then from that point, they're gonna shoot it right back up. I don't think it's gonna be a smooth move where it just goes straight up, because they're not just gonna let, like I forgot who mentioned it earlier, but someone in the chat said they're not just gonna give all these people long a free lunch. They're not just gonna give them all like money, like straight profit, just because it's obvious that price is going to go up, right? I think what's going to happen is they might push it up slightly. So I think this is what's going to happen. They're going to push it up to this structure slightly. And then I think at that point, or they might even push it up above here because they want to trick people to think that, it's going to be a definite buy. because that's how they get you. Like that's how they get most retail traders. They give you guys like little gimmies. Like they're like, oh, here's a little freebie. They push price up slightly. And then once this happens and price breaks the structure, because everyone's looking at the same structure that you're looking at. If someone sees that, they're going to be like, oh, cool. It's time to buy gold, right? Because they think price is breaking an important structure. But I see what happens there is like price will come up a little bit. The sentiment might go a little higher, like to maybe like 86. And then at that point, they're going to spike price down to here to stop everyone out, because look how big of a move that is from this point to here. That's like a 400 pip move. You know, most people don't have stop losses that wide. They'll probably move price back to here. And then when you least expect it, it's going to shoot right back up. It's not going to be a smooth move for sure. It's definitely not, because gold is one of the most manipulated assets. So this is exactly what I see happening at this point. I mean, we'll see how it plays out by tomorrow, because, you know, obviously we have to see how people react to the news. What might happen is price might even just go sideways for a bit. They'll go sideways for a bit. It might not even come up like right here. It might just go sideways from where price currently is. It'll go sideways, and then it'll dump, and then it'll shoot up. So you guys got to make sure not to get caught in any of that noise. There's going to be a lot of noise that happens during news later today. I'm not sure what time is it happening. Let's see. He's going to speak. He said later tonight. So yeah, I don't have a specific time for when he's going to be speaking. But you guys can see here that jobless claims are just getting higher and higher, right? So with jobless claims going higher, it's going to weaken the US dollar. On top of that, the stimulus getting printed is going to weaken the US dollar as well. So that's why a lot of people are buying gold, because a lot of people are holding gold long term. This doesn't necessarily, so looking at the stimulus here, guys, this doesn't necessarily mean that all of these people are short-term traders like we're trading. Some of these people could be holding for a long time. Like they probably bought like way down here or like way back in like March, and they're just holding on for a long-term hold. So you guys got to keep that in mind as well, that this number right here isn't going to be necessarily all day traders. Some of these are swing traders. Some of these are long-term investors that are just buying and holding. So it's something that you guys got to keep in mind when analyzing, you know, sentiment, because it's not going to 100% give you that accurate depiction of like who's trading it right now. So just looking at gold right here, basically what I see happening is I see it going sideways, I see it dropping, and then I see it shooting up eventually after it stops out like a good amount of these people right here, because you're not going to let everyone here just win this trade, you know, for whatever reason. So keep that in mind. And I think that's about it for gold. Let me see if there's anything else to look at before we continue forward. Varun wants me to redraw the NZD-JPY line. So let me pull up NZD-JPY. All right, so let me just, I kind of don't want to mess this up. So I'm going to remove these zones here, everyone, because I don't want to mess up we have an active position. So obviously I don't want to touch anything, but I'll redraw the zones for you right here. All right, so looking at NZD-JPY right here, we have a lower zone down here. Let's connect this as a big one. We have these zones right here. I'm making these big because these are irrelevant, right? Price is so high up here. It doesn't really matter if we have these zones over here connected, because we don't expect price to go that low anytime soon. I'm trying to figure out if this is a zone right here. I think so. Okay, cool. So it looks like this is a new zone. This wasn't here yesterday. So that's why we weren't able to identify that. Let me see if I can find this here. I'm gonna turn on the momentum indicator. Yeah, so let me just check this real quick. I think when we took this trade right here, that zone wasn't there yet. It's a new zone. All right, turn on the K2SRs. Yeah, so last night there was no zone right there. Can you see that? So we took the entry right here because price broke structure and we had a buy signal right there. And there was no zone. But, you know, obviously as price moves along throughout the day, it created a zone right there. So there's now a zone right there, but I think it's fine because it's ranging within these two other zones over here. So I turn this off. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off right here. Yeah, it looks like price is just ranging within these two zones right here, Varun. So it looks like price was, yeah, exactly. So thanks for bringing this up, because I didn't notice that there was a new zone there, but I think it's fine because what I see happening here is I see it in a range. So I see it rejecting off this point and then breaking above here. And then once it closes above this zone, then I could see it possibly shooting up, to our full TP. So I wouldn't be too worried about it just yet. I would just wait and see how it plays out. The reason why I thought this was a good trade too is because all of the NZD pairs were bullish. So looking at this right here, we have NZD JPY. We took the buy there. NZD CAD, it was bullish like last night until it started dropping. So I call this trade over here when it started to swing up. NZD CHF, bullish. NZD USD, bullish. And all of the other NZD pairs as well, bullish, right? So NZD AUD right there. Or actually, that's opposite. These are like, I wouldn't like really analyze this as a correlating pair to the other NZD pairs because they're similar assets. That's why it ranges most of the time for AUD USD. But looking at Euro NZD right here, see how this came down right here? This is indicating that the NZD is strong, obviously, right? Looking over at GBP NZD, this was coming down as well when we entered that trade. So that's indicating that the NZD was strong when we took the trade. So I'm just going to hold on and I'm going to, basically see how this plays out eventually. Let's see. City said NJ inverted H&S, head and shoulders. So I don't necessarily trade patterns, City, so I'm not sure what it really it's hard to, yeah, I don't know. I don't trade patterns, so I'm not really sure how to analyze that, but I can kind of see what you're saying. You said you're looking at the shoulder right here, the head, and then the shoulder again right here. So hopefully that's gonna push price up from there to hit this. So yeah, I think that I can see what you see right there, City, and hopefully that's pretty much what plays out from this point. But yeah, I mean that's it for NZD JPY. We'll see how it plays out. I think everything else is, it's pretty decent for the most part. Yeah, so looking at my profits over here, I'm back in profit. You can see NZD Euro odd is pretty deep in profit. I'm up 132. GA slight drawdown 64. NZD JPY slightly making its way up as well. But I'm currently overall in profit with all those three positions that I've called today, or yesterday actually. So it's looking fine. I'm gonna regrow this account. So you guys see here, when I started January, I think it was at about 3,500 or about 4,000. So I'm slowly growing it back up this month. And you guys will see, its progress along as we go. Currently at 5,400 right now. We'll see where it ends up, by the end of the month. And I'm just taking all the Forex trades on this account as well. So you'll see, the profitability of our Forex trades. So I think that's about it for NZD-JPY. We have one last one for meditation for Euro USD. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat so I can take a look before we log off for today. But I think the next time I'll be calling signals is at 10 a.m. But I'm definitely gonna have to log off for a bit. I have a bunch of Telegram messages to respond to, and I have a bunch of emails to respond to too. So let me see. Yeah, guys, I have like 80 emails to get to. So I'm going to try to keep this short and concise. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then I can analyze pretty much anything for you before I log off for the day. Obviously, I'll still be available in the chat, in the Telegram chat, but I'm going to be going off live because I need to focus on these questions and for our live sessions later today as well. I have another live session tonight at 6 if you guys want to sit in on it. But yeah, I think that's about it. So let me scan for Euro USD real quick. Took everything off the chart right here. I'm going to turn on the K2SRs, zoom out from this point, draw my zones on the chart for you guys. There we go. That one. All right, cool. So it looks like we have these, there's some really like small zones here. They're not really that wide. So yeah, this looks good right here. Everything here looks fine. Looking at Euro USD, it looks like it's coming down slightly. Let me turn on the momentum indicator. Yeah, so we do have a sell momentum right here. Obviously, we have like, clear areas of rejection right here. So obviously the drop started from up here, right? This is the high where the drop happened. Again, right here, we have a lower high right here. It was followed by a sell signal right here. And then, when that happens, when we have a rejection, sell signal, it ends up testing the next structure right here, right? So it broke structure again right here. So this is possibly going to swing down even further. So like right here, it broke structure, pushed down from this point, and then it could possibly test this structure down here before either coming down further or rejecting from this point over here, right? So two scenarios can play out right here for Euro USD. It can either come down, test the structure and reject off it, or it can come down, break through the structure and continue down further. It's just it's just that there's gonna be like, so not confused with, but what I'm concerned with is the Biden speech later today, or whatever his announcement he's gonna make regarding the stimulus and stuff. Because right here we're analyzing a drop from this point, but if he talks about the stimulus and he talks about how much money is gonna be printed and stuff, this might go the opposite direction. So there's like two clear analysis that can happen here. Price can either come down from the structure. This will be about later tonight, right? So I think he's going to start talking around here, 2200 hours. So around this like time right here, you'll probably see a spike up or a spike down, depending on what he says during his speech or whatever he's going to do. Yeah, when Biden speaks later, because it said later in the afternoon, when he speaks tonight, it's going to push price in either direction. So I probably would not enter Euro USD right now because you just don't want to get caught in a trade. So you don't want to be in a buy position, right? Like you don't want to be in a buy position and then it ends up spiking down and stops you out. Vice versa, you don't want to enter a short position because you think it's going to come down further, and then they announce that they're printing like, I don't know, 1.4 trillion or 2 trillion or $3 trillion, and then it ends up spiking in the other direction, right? Because that's very well what could happen, with regard to EU or like any pair that's connected to the US dollar. So I would definitely be careful with it. I personally wouldn't enter this trade, but I mean, if you really wanted to meditation, I think it would have a sell bias. But once the news happens later today, I would probably just, if you make some profit, move your stop loss and profit. But I would definitely wait for price to close below the structure right here and then ride this down from that point. Kind of similar to what happened here, right? We had a rejection off here, a sell signal, breaking structure. It comes down and tests the next structure right here. That's what I see happening right here. If it breaks structure below here, I see coming down and test this structure down here. But if the news affects the market and pushes it up from that point, who knows how far it'll push up before it ends up coming back down. I think it'll eventually come back down, but who knows when that will happen. The reason why I have a sell bias right here is because we're in a sell for Euro odd, right? So I have a vested interest in this trade. I want this to keep coming down further. I want the Euro to keep being weak because I'm in profit right now, 146. I'll probably be in profit like maybe 300 to 500 if it hits full TP down here. And looking at all the Euro pairs, they're all bearish, right? So this is going to give you confirmation that the Euro is super, super weak right now. But this weakness is going to conflict with Euro USD because the USD is going to be affected with the news today. So that's using, fundamentals in conjunction with technical analysis, just looking at all of the other Euro pairs, they're all very bearish, but the only pair that's actually pushing up right here is Euro USD because of the news that's happening later today. So you guys got to keep that in mind. Just because all of the Euro pairs are all coming down heavy right here, it doesn't mean that all of them have to do the same thing, right? Everything right here, Euro odd, Euro CAD, Euro CHF, Euro GBP. See how it's all red right here? It's super negative right now. So the thing with Euro USD is it should be negative as well. I mean, it is negative and it should continue to drop. But because of the US news, odds are it might reject off this point and swing up temporarily until the news is passed. So just keep that in mind, guys. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Here, I don't have any other questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise I'll be getting off a little early today and kind of have to handle some stuff. But yeah, other than that, I think we're pretty much good for today. Let me see if there's anything else here before I continue on. Raymond said, thanks for your analysis. No problem, Raymond, anytime. Peter said, thanks, Shawn. No problem, Peter. Cameron, what up, Cameron? You just got here? It looks like you're here a little late today. D-Rez, David said, his target for EU is 1.20500. Okay, yes, yeah, so you're down here, right? Yeah. Okay. So David's target for your USD is right over here. Oh, he's pretty close to it, actually. So he's reaching for that that TP right there, which I could see happening. I could probably see it dropping a bit before it ends up spiking up later today when Biden speaks. Biden probably speaks in about 4 to 6 hours, or maybe even 8 hours, maybe 4 to 8 hours from now, Biden will be speaking, and that's probably when it will spike up. So just keep that in mind, guys. You know, be careful. Don't like jump into trades just because you have a gut feeling, because there's a lot of things that can affect the market through here, you know, with regard to the news. Because if you guys follow the news, when money's being printed, like basic fundamentals, when money's being printed like the US dollar because they need to give us stimulus, it weakens the US dollar because there's more availability of that asset, right? So that's why it's going to affect the market heavily when Biden speaks, because, you know, printing $1 trillion is it's not a small amount of money. It's a lot of money, and it's going to affect the dollar directly if you think of it from that perspective. I'm trying to see if there's anything else here that we can pull from the news, but I think that's about it. I don't really see anything else here that could necessarily affect the market. CNBC, is there anything new here? Oh, and also like the job claims too. So like if jobs are, people are losing jobs in the US, it's affecting the US dollar as well. So it weakens the US dollar. So jobless claims like going up, plus US dollars being printed, plus COVID getting worse, there's a lot of things here that point to a weak dollar. COVID live updates, weekly US dollar claims surge. Wow, so January on pace to be the nation's deadliest month. Oh, it's crazy. I'm not surprised though, from the holidays and stuff. It's actually pretty scary. So, I mean, it's really unfortunate that this is happening, but this points more and more to show that the US dollar is going to be weak and that this is probably going to spike up. So I'll probably be buying all of the USD pairs for the next week or so with those numbers coming out, right? When the new COVID numbers come out, it's not going to be good for the US. Probably going to go back into like some deeper lockdown. So I'll probably be buying AU over here. I'll buy this. I'll buy EU. I'll buy GU. I'll buy NU. Look at the bullish move, right? They're all bullish. So for all these pairs right here, I'll sell this USD CAD, USD CHF, sell that, sell UJ. Everything is playing out because the US dollar is super weak right now. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are trading any of the USD pairs, the US dollar looks like it's going to be weak for the next 2 weeks out, possibly, until Biden does something that, I don't know. Well, he's going to get put into House on the 20th. So next week, actually, he's going to be the actual president. Let me see. Yeah, he's going to get inaugurated on the 20th. Wednesday the 20th. Keep in mind, guys, next Monday is Martin Luther King Day. So that's going to be a holiday. Market's going to be either closed or slow. And then Wednesday. So next week's going to be actually a little crazy too, because we're going to have a holiday on Monday. And then on Wednesday is going to be his inauguration. So there's a lot of stuff going on that could affect the market. But other than that, I think that's pretty much. Let's see what else we got over here before we continue on. Mosima said, learning a lot, man. Thanks. Definitely, no problem. Arasha, thanks, Shawn, for your time. Definitely, no problem. Cameron said, yeah, stayed up a bit last night. Still catching up on some good value. Good to hear, Cameron. Skill Trade said the US dollar will probably cause the USD to swing up before it comes shooting down. Exactly, Skill Trade. That's what I see happening as well, because the US dollar looks very weak, with regard to the jobless claims, with regard to COVID being really bad, with regard to them printing money for stimulus. So I could probably see this drop further down here. And then I could probably see AU, GU, EU, and all that stuff going up. So I'm probably just going to put in a buy right here at some point. And I'm just going to take a speculative buy. Just take a buy and then just let it ride, maybe with a trailing stop. Looks like my margin's kind of okay. So perfect. Look at my profits here, guys. My floating profits like shot up like crazy. It was like negative 100, like $200. Now I made 142 on euro odd. My GA is coming back into profit. So like, too bad for you guys, because I looked in the chat. I saw some of you guys saying that you were closing your positions. You guys just got to work on your trade psychology, guys, because we're swinging back into profit. So I'm gonna be super happy when I see these hit TP, so I can send these TPs in the group, and then whoever closed your position too early is gonna regret it. But it's all right. Oh, here we go. So my realized profit is starting to swing pretty high now because everything moves back into profit. So yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I think that's it for the analysis today. If you guys have any other questions, probably just put them in the chat, and I can probably respond to you guys later on. But right now, I have a ton of questions to get to. Skills Trade said, or no, Big Timer said, Peter said, Shawn, do you know where I can get a money printer? I want a Lambo and a mansion. Exactly. It's right here. You just go to k2trades.com and you can download your money printer right here. But yeah, no, I'm just joking with you guys who close your positions, because I did see the chat. There's a couple new guys in K2 that I guess, their trade psychology just isn't there yet, because they are talking about exiting the trade. But look at me, I held on to this. I was like negative 230 earlier, and it's down to negative 17, swinging back into profit. So, just work on your trade psychology, guys. If you guys are new to K2, keep sitting in on these live sessions. You guys will have more confidence with your trading, because I'm breaking down these trades, trade by trade. I'm showing you exactly what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing happening, what I see to happen next. And it's just, it's an ongoing cycle. So I think that's about it, guys, for today. If you guys have any other questions, also, if you guys haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. Help us continue to grow the channel so I can continue to keep coming on here for you guys every morning. Other than that, I'll be available in Telegram, guys. I just have a bunch of emails to get to. And I think that is about it. So thanks for showing up, guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the last live session for the week. Other than that, catch you guys later.